Hey everyone, Token Dave over here, the dorky token black guy that's just trying to get by. And welcome to another edition of Thank You for Giving, my Thanksgiving celebration, and where I pay homage to an individual's contribution to the entertainment industry. Yes, I know Thanksgiving was a week ago, but god damn it, I still have 2 more reviews to help commemorate and pay homage to Tobe Hooper. And I'm getting those 2 reviews out before the end of the month, god damn it. So, with that being said, let's talk about Tobe Hooper's remake of a 1950s classic, the 1986 version of Invaders from Mars. So, David Gardner is a 10-year-old boy who dreams of going into outer space. His dreams are both motivated and encouraged by his father, who is a NASA scientist. One night, a UFO lands in Dave's backyard, awakening him. The boy, being both excited and scared, informs his parents, and his parents decide to investigate. When they come back, David realizes that his parents are acting differently, and they each have a Band-Aid in the back of their neck. When David goes to school, he also notices some people are acting differently, and the very people acting differently have the same back of the neck injury. David realizes that the people have been brainwashed by aliens from that UFO that landed in his backyard. With the help of the school nurse, the two try to convince the local military base that aliens have come down to invade the planet and try to stop them. Every kid dreams of being able to save the world, let alone, and it will be more awesome if they try to save the world from aliens. At least I did. And when this movie came out, basically this is one of the few horror scary movies that my mom was able to take me to see because it was rated PG or PG-13. Yeah. Anyway, so, and I loved this movie when I saw it. But here's the thing. The last time I saw this movie, I was 9 years old. So I'm going close to 30 years of not seeing this movie again. Oh, good God, I'm getting old. Oh God. Anywho, so with me not seeing this movie since 1990, do I still see this movie the same way? Well, how can I place this? So let's start off with the fact that this is a remake of a 1950s movie. So, with that, this could go one of 2 extreme ways. You can either do an exceptionally well remake or an exceptionally bad one, because the imagination of the 50s was kind of limited. I know it was a product of the time, but in the 80s, imagination really, really took off more, and so basically trying to expand on the limited imagination of the 50s was kind of difficult at that time period, With this movie, basically, what they improve upon based off the original are the special effects. Because, let's be honest, you got Stan Winston. Yes, the Stan Winston. The guy that gave us the Terminator. The guy that did the special effects on Aliens. The guy that did the special effects for the Yautja. Create the design of the Yautja. For those that don't know, the Yautja is the alien race of the Predators and everything. And the guy that did the special effects for Avatar. Okay, no. Avatar, the special effects were great, so we can't argue right there. So, special effects were definitely an improvement. Another improvement were the character interactions. You really got to feel that this was actually a very wholesome town. You felt that David was an average kid who was obsessed with space, which what kid wasn't in the 80s, especially with the huge Star Wars craze still going on and the Star Trek resurgence with the movies going on, And to top it off, he had loving, supporting parents. His father was a NASA scientist that was very encouraging and loving of him, wanting him to pursue his dream. And you have the mother who, while a homemaker, she's actually an adult college student, something you really didn't see in the 80s. And to top it off, she's an adult college student studying accounting or bookkeeping, which actually, hey, big points for me right here and everything. But then we get to the rest of the movie, when number one, the acting is, oh God, terrible. The acting is really, really bad in this. And the only two good actors, or only two good performances in this movie was done by the late Karen Black, who plays Linda, the school nurse, who is the only person that believes David about aliens invading the town at first. And, of course, the kid David. David, he just acted like a kid and everything. But not the really, really annoying kid and everything, But, goddamn, everyone else in this movie was horrible. I mean, we even had Louise Fletcher in this movie. I mean, the evil nurse from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And she hammed it up, oh my God, she dialed it up with the hamness to 100 and everything. I mean, I actually saw that, she got a Razzie nomination for Worst Supporting Actress. And I gotta say, that was well earned because Louise Fletcher is one of the best actresses of all time. And that terrible performance right there, that was beneath her, And there are some things that just didn't make sense in this movie. Let's be honest. Like, for example, you have two cops that end up looking for Louise and David, and they automatically know to find them in the school. And it's like, it's late at night. How do you know that they're at the school? And on top of it off, when they're at the school, like with David and Linda trying to run away from the police officers, they were easily able to access the boiler room of the school. I'm like, the boiler room of the school is usually locked by the custodians, number one. Number two, that thing was so freaking huge. I mean, that boiler room looked as big as like a warehouse factory floor. No sense. Another thing that doesn't make sense is, seriously, there's an alien invasion going on, and a kid is telling you, he literally goes to the military base and says, I need to speak to this general and everything because it's the alien invasion. Now, granted, the kid is the son of a NASA scientist that works for the guy, but just by a kid saying so, they're going to let this kid into a military base? What? Really? Those are some of the ridiculous things that happen in this movie. But by the way, I gotta say, the lead alien, the Supreme Martian Intellect, looks like a giant brain, and I swear to God, the Ninja Turtles cartoon that came out 2 years later, I swear they got the idea of Krang from the Supreme Martian Intellect, because that thing looks so much like Krang. If I was Tobe Hooper, I would try to sue those people and everything, because that's clear, flat out plagiarism right there, big time, Which, by the way, the Supreme Martian Intellect looks more like a homage from one of the brains from the Brains of Planet Ares and everything. But, neither here or there. So, while it's been like 27 years since I saw this movie, I gotta say that basically, it has decent special effects and everything. It's a very fun ride to have, everything, just watching this. But with all that, terrible acting, nonsensical plot, some of the character motivations and actions are flat out dumb. The music is terrible in this, and while the special effects are decent, they are dated. Guys, the 1986 Invaders from Mars is whack. Dude, I mean, now granted, it's whack, but I really like this. It has a lot of entertainment value, and if you're a fan of the 50s B-horror movies, you'll find some enjoyment. But with all that said, Tobe, you had Dan O'Bannon, the guy that wrote the screenplay to Alien, you know, on board. You had Grandmaster Special Effects Wizard Stan Winston. And you turned in this POS? Really? Agree? Disagree? Drop me a comment below. Give me a like. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Subscribe and ring that bell so you know when a new video loads. Despite all that I said, I do enjoy this movie. It's a fun ride, and Tobe Hooper, thank you for giving me the remake of Invaders from Mars.